All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning and welcome. How's everybody doing today? I hope everyone's doing well, and I welcome you to my very first in 6 straight days of gameplay streaming here on YouTube. Excuse me, here on Twitch. What a faux pas. What a thing to say here on YouTube. I am not streaming on YouTube. I sneezed. Sorry, guys. Woo. So, here on Twitch, excuse me. That's like a Freudian slip or something right there. So, today is Wednesday, December 11th, 2019. Ooh, man. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to my gameplay stream. My return stream, as they say. And it's going to be 6 straight days of full-time streaming starting today, as usual. Wednesday through Monday. And I shall be back, Tuesday is usually my day off, and yes, Tuesday will be my day off next week as well. Today is actually, it's only 2 weeks until Christmas, guys. Yeah, I know you may not realize it. It's only 2 weeks until Christmas. 2 weeks away, the big holiday, as they say. I'm excited for it. I hope you guys are too. Everyone in the final leg of gearing up. I'm sure many of you are probably rushing around trying to figure out what gifts you're going to be buying people or making preparations for the holiday. I myself are kind of in that mode as well, although I kind of already know what I'm doing. A lot of things are not in place yet. So, of course, homeless gamer, of course I believe in Santa. What a ridiculous question. Who doesn't believe in Santa? What kind of a buffoon would not believe in Santa Claus, right? So, I am in full holiday mode. I hope you guys have been enjoying the streams recently. The nice festive decorations, the holiday emotes that you guys have if you're subs to the channel. Everything's been pretty cool, right? And in addition, just a couple days ago, I finally set in stone the whole Christmas holiday event, which is now going to take place on Sunday, the, let's see here, 22nd. Sunday, the 22nd of December. My Christmas marathon shall take place. I'll be playing a variety of games, dressing up in holiday attire. Drinking. Yes, that's right. I'll be drinking a bit that day. It should be overall a good time. And you guys can currently vote on the games that you want to see during that holiday event right now by typing !marathon into the stream chat. It'll bring up the link that you click on to go to my website, thekingofhate.com, and vote on the games you want to see. There are 10 games in the running. What a variety of stuff we've got. A good variety of games for sure. I'm very curious to see what people want to see during Christmas Day. It should be interesting to say the least, okay? So vote. Should be a good time. I'm getting into the festive mood, as they say. But instead of getting so far ahead of ourselves, let's talk a little bit about, this week. First of all, some people asked me, what did I do on my day off yesterday? Well, a lot of odds and ends, had an appointment to get to, had a lot of errands to run. Although, we do try to make it kind of half and half fun and half, errands and work. So, I actually went to a sandwich shop called Potbelly for the first time in, no lie, years and years. I can't even remember the last time I was at a Potbelly. And I liked it. It was surprising because the sandwiches were fresh and tasty. They weren't huge, though. Compared to other sandwich shops that I've gone to, the sandwiches were relatively smaller, but they were full of flavor. And it was filling, too. So it's not like, you get a smaller sandwich, you eat it, and you're like, oh, it tastes good, but, it wasn't filling. It was actually the opposite. It felt great. It was filling and, reasonable prices. So that was something that I haven't done in a long time. Potbelly sandwich shop was pretty good. What did I get? I got a prime rib. They had a prime rib sandwich for limited time. And Kat actually tried out the pizza sandwich and really liked the pizza sandwich that they had there. It's like meatballs with marinara sauce and some melted cheese and Italian seasonings. So it was good. Ran around. It was very rainy yesterday. We are in a full-on fall mode here, although it is winter. In just about a week, it's about winter here, but You know, here when it's fall and winter, we get a lot of clouds and a lot of rain. And that's what we're getting right now all day long yesterday. It was rain, rain, rain. So everywhere we went, we got soggy. But we had some good fun, you know, going around doing the stuff that we did. So it was a good time. It was a good day off, relaxing. Came home to Jasper, misbehaving as usual. So what happened was when we came home from grocery shopping, there were some veggies. You know, we always bring home veggies, and usually I try to wash and chop the veggies as soon as possible. That way I don't have to do it later on. So we had some kale, we had some carrots, and I think there was something else too that I can't remember off the top of my head. And I was washing and chopping it up, and so I did all that. Of course, Jasper wants to be a part of it. You know, he wants to know, like, get away from the knife, Jasper. I'm trying to chop up these veggies, but he wants to know what's going on, all up into the business. So then I rinse. You know, we're very tired, obviously, when we come home. We want to shower and just kind of relax. So we do, and I just basically toss the knife and the cutting board into the sink. And I didn't wash it. I just left it there. I said, I'll wash it tomorrow. Big deal, right? Just a bunch of just vegetables that I cut up. Jasper takes it upon himself all night. He keeps going in the sink and touching and pulling this cutting board. He's trying to basically like knead on the edge of the cutting board. He's making all this noise. They're like, Jasper, man, just leave it alone, man. What are you doing? Like, why you gonna bother everything? That's how he is. That's how he is. Oh, look, there's something new here. There's something different. I have to mess with this all day long now. But, and then he tried to wake me up this morning yet again, but I just ignored him. He tried crawling all over me, and I ignored him, and he went back to sleep, which is good. So anyway, that was my day off. Very exciting. Actually, not really. It wasn't too much going on in the realm of excitement for my day off. So FYI, guys, before we get to this week's schedule, just so you guys know, I am going to be having actually 2 days off around Christmas. Can you believe it? That for, you know, the first time in a long-ass time, I'm taking 2 days off of streaming instead of only one. Holy shit. I mean, it's like a miracle. It's a Christmas miracle. It's literally a Christmas miracle. So here's what's going to happen. The last week, basically, before I take the 2 days off, all right, I'll be finishing up current playthroughs, maybe starting up some new playthroughs. I actually have some ideas of things that I want to do. In particular, one game that I've wanted to play for quite some time and never got around to, I think I might actually start up. I'm not going to spoil, but basically right now we're playing MediEvil, we're playing Shenmue 3, we're playing Pokemon Sword, and I get the feeling within the next week we're going to finish up at least one of those, if not maybe two, okay? So I'm going to be looking for other games to start playing on my main gameplay stream. And I have a couple ideas of things that I want to do, and one of them is a retro game that I've wanted to play for a long time. I've really been having a craving of playing it, and I think I'm just going to do it. I think I'm just going to do it and throw it in there and say, I really want to do it, so let's just do it, okay? But then there's some other games like Need for Speed Heat or Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz Remastered, or maybe something else that I may also throw in there. I also had talked about Ninja Gaiden Black, right? So, that stuff is going to start up, roughly, that stuff's going to start up around the next couple of weeks, all right? Now, in the week before Christmas, what I'm thinking of doing is setting up a tips goal that'll be a week-long tips goal, okay? The reason I'm thinking of doing this is because coming up, year end, all right, there's a lot of stuff that I need to do behind the scenes business-wise. One of them is contact my tax attorney and get work on my year-end taxes that I have to do with the state. And then I actually have to raise the money to pay those, okay? I'll be honest, you guys have known how tight things have been around here recently. Really bad, to the point where some months I've had, like, crises because of stuff going on financially. So I'm in no position, you know, to be able to handle all this right away. And what I'm thinking is I might set up a week-long tips goal, you know, leading into the Christmas event and all of that, as a way to maybe motivate some contributions on the streams. And again, as I've always said, understand that contributions are not mandatory. This is just something that I feel that if I set this up, that it might help, you know, convince people to contribute, especially if they like my streams. And, you know, this would help me tremendously. This would basically take care of this whole tax situation and get me to a much better position. rather than starting up behind the 8 ball, I'd actually be, you know, starting up the new year in a good position. So I'm thinking of doing this. It'll basically be like, it'll run Monday to Monday. So this coming Monday, I would probably set up the goal on stream so you guys know what we're looking at. And then I would have a week of streaming to try to raise the tips goal if I could. Kind of culminating in the special Christmas event I'm going to do on the 22nd, which will be the Christmas marathon that Sunday. But in reality, I'm actually going to be streaming the next day too, that Monday the 23rd. I'll also be streaming, okay? I'm actually going to be taking off Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Those are the 2 days that I'm going to be taking off from streaming for the holiday, okay? Reason being, Tuesday is typically my day off anyway. So what we're going to do is Christmas Eve, Kat and I are going to go out and do our usual thing. Run our errands, do our grocery shopping, do all the things we need to do for that week. And then we're going to have a nice dinner together that Christmas Eve. And then on Christmas Day, we're going to spend the whole day together at home, doing holiday-themed stuff, cooking, because we actually have a Christmas ham that my parents sent me that we're going to cook. So we got some good stuff lined up for the holiday, and quite frankly, we would love to spend this time together. So, yes, that's going to be coming up. So, FYI, the way it's looking is, all right, this week's going to be a normal streaming week. Starting on this coming Monday, I'm probably going to set up a tips goal on the stream. That'll be a week-long tips goal that we're going to try to raise by the end of that streaming week. I hope I can. Okay? And then I'm going to have 2 days off for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. Then when I come back from that, we're going to be continuing on, obviously, with all the playthroughs I'm doing. But also, I'm going to start working on my year-end series, which really are not really year-end series anymore. What they are year-end streams. All right? 2 special events, one being my favorite games of 2019, and the other being my most disappointing games of 2019 countdown, okay? Now, I've thought about this, and instead of doing it traditionally, top 10 or whatever, I'm just going to run down all the games that I felt were good and all the games that I felt were disappointing in the year. I think rather than having, it's set to 10, I'm just going to go through all my archives of all the stuff that I did this year, and I'm going to lay out the stuff for you that I thought was really good and the stuff that I thought was bad. So it's going to be a special streaming event, and that's either going to be the very end of December or early January, depending on time, and stuff like that. But I'm excited for it. I'm going to do it in a streaming format just like I did last year. What that means is instead of it being an edited series for YouTube, which I can't even do anymore because I don't have a video editor anymore, we're going to live stream, and what I'll do is I'll play clips of the games I'm talking about over the stream while I talk about that game to let you know what I liked or didn't like about that game. We can have open discussion during that live stream with people who agree or disagree and why. People I'm sure will be, talking in the stream chat and contributing and getting shout-outs and everything. So it's going to be an interactive style year-end recap of the best and worst games of the year. Okay? Pretty cool. So, that is coming soon. Today is the 11th, so think about it, right? Time is flying. This always happens at the end of the year. Time really passes quickly. So that's coming up. Again, once I come back from my 2 days off for Christmas, that's going to be kind of my focus, the year-end stuff. Okay, guys? So there you go. The only other thing I want to talk about, and then we're going to get to the actual schedule here, is there was an announcement while I was away yesterday that Resident Evil 3 is getting a full-on remake, which we already knew because if you actually followed along news last year or earlier this year, when Resident Evil 2 ended up being a ginormous sales hit, Capcom said, well, for the amount of effort we honestly put into it to remake Resident Evil 2 and the fact that it's an insanely huge hit, we want to remake Resident Evil 3 and we're going to work on that right away. Now, they didn't officially announce any kind of release date or time frame, but they had said we're working on it. So, finally, they just announced, yes, it's done, and it's coming out, well, it's almost done. It's going to come out April. So, now we've got Final Fantasy VII Remaster in March, and we've got a Resident Evil 3 remaster, well, not remaster, but remake, in April. Actually, it's right before my birthday. Isn't it like April 3rd or something like that? They announced it. So, it's actually right before my birthday, which is cool, I guess, right? So, it's exciting. Obviously, the Resident Evil 2 remake was one of the best games of 2019. And so the Resident Evil 3 remake could be great as well. The only thing I'm a little skeptical about is that Resident Evil 3, honestly, I didn't like it that much, and I just played it. I played it. What was it, like 4 or 5 years ago? I'm trying to remember. Like, I know I played it when I was here in Washington, but I don't remember exactly when I did. I just remember not liking it as much. Number one, because there was a shortage of ink ribbons, which is so bizarre. In Resident Evil, as long as you save at logical times, usually you have no issue with ink ribbons. But in Resident Evil 3, I had a big issue with ink ribbon management where I was running out of ink ribbons. And I couldn't save my game. And I was like, what is going on here? And then I also remember there were just stupid parts like, oh, look, there's a barrel. And if you're shooting a zombie, sometimes your bullets might miss the zombie and hit the explosive barrel. And it just insta-kills everyone on the screen. And it's a game over screen. Like, what? It's not even like an environmental hazard that blows up and you take some damage. No, it's just insta-kills and the whole game ends. It's like, what? And come to find out, Resident Evil 3, in reality, wasn't supposed to be Resident Evil 3. Resident Evil 3 was a rushed game that they rushed out there because Resident Evil 3, I believe, was actually supposed to be... Wasn't it Resident Evil 0 or Resident Evil Code Veronica? Like, one of those was supposed to be Resident Evil 3, and it ended up not being for some reason. So Resident Evil 3 was more of a rushed project, and you can definitely tell. You can definitely tell when you play it. Not to say it's a bad game, it's just a little bit more frustrating, I feel, than Resident Evil 1 and 2. Like, it doesn't feel as polished. It feels like there's some annoying parts. And I don't know. Not that I didn't like playing it, but I remember when I played it years ago, I raged at it, and I was like, I definitely feel like 1 and 2 are way better games. And of course, then, if you play 0, or you play Code Veronica, you're like, wow, these feel like more in line with Resident Evil 1 and 2. I wonder what happened. And I guess what happened is those were supposed to be like mainstream number titles in the series. And for whatever reason, they got delayed or whatever. And so Resident Evil 3 ended up being pushed out. Good RPG says, was Resident Evil 3 Ballpark B Franks? No, that was Code Veronica. That was when I was playing Code Veronica. And for some weird reason, a pop-up ad popped up on my laptop that caught on the mic and said, Ballpark B Franks. Like, what the fuck is that? An ad in the middle of the fucking Resident Evil playthrough, right? So anyway, am I excited for the Resident Evil 3 remake? Yes. Will I be playing it? Absolutely. There's no reason not to. Resident Evil 2 was a very grueling time playing it on the difficulty that I did, but it was also one of the best games of the year. So absolutely I will be playing Resident Evil 3 remake when it comes out next year. Yes. Okay. Okay. So that's the news. Now let's talk about the schedule, everybody. So today, I'm continuing with... Let's try that again. Starting today, I'm continuing on with my MediEvil remake playthrough. This is the modern remake of the classic PS1 game that not only was a bestseller, but ended up having a sequel. I really like the game. At the same time, there's definitely a lot of outdated mechanics in the game. Like, there's no continues, there's no checkpoints. You gotta basically do everything, well in your first run. However, the game is, I will say this, the game is very, very, not forgiving, but lenient with the health. Like, you get a bunch of health vials to heal yourself right off the bat. And it's not a huge deal that you're constantly running out of health or anything like that from what I'm experiencing. At the same time, it's pretty frustrating if you're going through a stage and then you die to a difficult jump a bunch of times, or you know what I mean? You got to redo the stage from the beginning. It's like, oh my god. So it is what it is. I've enjoyed it so far. I hope you've liked the first 4 hours. I'm going to play another 4 hours today. From what I'm to understand, the game is around 10 to 12 hours long. And I'm 4 hours in, and some people are telling me some of the most annoying stages in the game are actually coming up. So this could be... Excuse me. This could be a pretty interesting undertaking today. There may be a lot of rage today, from what I'm being told. So I guess we'll see. So 4 more hours of MediEvil today. Later tonight, I return to the world of Battle Royale with PUBG. I'm doing a PUBG late night stream tonight. And I hope you guys will join me for that. I first went back to PUBG last week. You guys seem to like it. You know, I actually almost won a match. I got second place, if you can friggin' believe it, even though I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And you guys seem to enjoy the gameplay, plus, of course, the tons of interactive commentary and fun that we had. So that's why I'm doing PUBG again. And again, if you guys enjoy the PUBG, I will make it an ongoing weekly thing. As long as you guys are still enjoying it, I have no reason to not continue doing PUBG, right? So that should be fun. PUBG later tonight. Tomorrow, I'm returning back to Shenmue 3 for another 4-hour stream. Hopefully tomorrow we can get out of the village. And I mean it. Like, it's been so ridiculously drawn out. How long have I been playing Shenmue now? A week? So what, 3 streams and I'm still in the village. 12 hours into the game. I'm still in the beginning village. It still hasn't gotten past this point. Not to say that we haven't had progression. I mean, we have. Ryo has learned a ton of kung fu moves and leveled up all his combat abilities. And, there's been a lot going on. But you get to a point where you're like, all right, I think it's time to move on from this environment. So hopefully, when I play Shenmue 3 tomorrow, we'll be leaving that village and going on to another area. Tomorrow night, I'm going to be doing Throwback Super Nintendo. That is right. Throwback Super Nintendo fun on the Switch. More than likely what I'm going to do is continue on with Super Mario Kart, which is a playthrough that I was doing a full playthrough of, and you guys seem to enjoy it. It's pretty difficult trying to beat the stages on the harder levels, for sure. It's, like, pretty challenging. So, I think we're going to continue on with that, and if you guys get bored with that, I could easily switch over to another game, but I don't know if you guys will really be enjoying the Mario Kart all night, or if you want something different. We'll see how that goes, okay? That's Thursday night. That's true. I could play Super Metroid as well, Eggs and Sausage. Super Metroid I played a little bit of, and I really enjoyed it. So, then on Friday, we go back to Pokemon Sword. And last time I played Pokemon Sword, I ended up in the wild again, and now I'm high enough level to catch all the Pokemon that are in the wild. So I could essentially go from end to end in this giant open world and catch all of the Pokemon that are there. And I think that's what I want to do. Like, the previous times that I was in the wild, I was severely limited with what Pokemon I could catch, depending on my level. And, of course, the balls that I had. Now I have the Ultra Balls and everything. I think I am going to try to catch all the goddamn Pokemon that are in the wild. It could take a while. It could take multiple streams to do so. But I want to, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. And you guys are helping me with matchup types and weaknesses and tips on how to evolve the Pokemon once I catch them and everything. So I've been having such a good time, I kind of want to have just a nice chill stream of Pokemon this Friday where we just catch stuff all day long, okay? Then Friday night, it's going to be Throwback Street Fighter, my weekly Throwback Street Fighter stream where I play old school Street Fighter. I always look forward to that every week. Looking forward to more of that Friday. Saturday, we'll probably swing back to MediEvil, and if reports are correct, then probably on Saturday I'll be beating or wrapping up my MediEvil playthrough. Seems like that's more of the case of what's going to happen. Saturday night, I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to actually play more Modern Warfare. I know. After the rage-inducing session I had last week, you're like, why the hell would you play more of this? Because, number one, I am making progression in the game. I'm unlocking better weapons. I'm trying different things, okay? Number two, I want to try to play on this goddamn Crash map, which I only got to play once on, and when I played on it, I loved it. So maybe I can play more on it. I don't know. I'm going to give it another shot. I'm trying to be dedicated here, and I'm trying to at least play it once a week and see if I'll like it anymore. I definitely think that if I keep playing Modern Warfare and I play it every week, I'll probably get better at it and I'll end up liking it more. Right now, I just get so frustrated every time I play it, but I guess we're going to try it again this week, okay? Then on Sunday, more Shenmue, followed by the return of Genesis Mini. That's right, I'm going to do more Genesis Mini on Sunday night, and I'm not sure what I'm doing in it. It all really be dependent on, I guess, what you guys would like to see, and I guess also dependent on, I don't know, just how people feel. Do you want to see a new game? Do you want to see me continue on one of the games I've already been playing? I said last stream I was going to play Streets of Rage 2, and then I never did. I was like, Streets of Rage 2, people want to see it, and I didn't do it. Maybe I'll do Streets of Rage 2. I don't know. We'll see, but that's Sunday night. And then on Monday, as usual, a nice chill Monday to end my streaming week. It will be Pokemon Sword, followed by Minecraft. This week in Minecraft, we'll be actually focusing in on final resource gathering and then trying to start build a bird statue. Okay? And then that also, like I told you guys, that'll be the day. That Monday will be the day when I will set up a tips goal for a week-long tips goal that I'm going to try to raise to get some good, early fundraising to basically help out with the year-end taxes and everything. Okay? Good stuff. And, excuse me. So that's the deal for the week. That's the rough schedule for the week, guys. Okay? Hope that sounds good to you. More than likely, it looks like we'll probably be finishing MediEvil this week. I doubt we're finishing Shenmue or Pokemon. Especially if I'm going to spend a lot of time in Pokemon in the wild catching Pokemon. It's probably going to take a lot longer. But I'm having so much fun with it, and you guys are enjoying the playthrough. I want to approach it like that. Okay? Sounds good? Alright. So good stuff, guys. Let's now move on to the second segment of my pre-stream, which is the gratuitous plugs. Thank you guys for putting up with it. As you know, since this is both my hobby and my job, I do have to advertise a bit. I know you guys don't like advertisements. I don't like them either. It's a necessary evil, right? Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have been a content creator for 11 years. I daily share my gameplay experiences with all of you here on the internet. I absolutely love my job because, like I said, it's my hobby and my job. I am incredibly lucky to be able to do what I love for a living, okay? 6 days a week, I'm here full-time streaming for you. I also upload all of my gameplay stream archives over to my YouTube channel, DSPGaming, and have done so for the greater part of almost 10 years now as a way to archive my content so that if you can't be here for the live streams, you can actually go check out those videos on demand, okay? All that being said, I primarily rely on crowdfunding during live streams to keep stuff going and afford my bills and make ends meet. It's, it does everything. It pays for the games. It pays for the electricity. It pays for the internet. It pays for my utilities. It pays for food. It pays for everything. Okay? So thank you to all of you who do contribute. I appreciate that very much. All right? It's not like it used to be back in the day where I could just upload videos to YouTube as a full-time YouTuber and just rely on ad revenue from views. In fact, it's complete the polar opposite. I make almost nothing on YouTube, especially compared to what I used to do. Like, it's very negligible what I make over there. Okay? Very negligible. But that being said, you guys are awesome. You guys are so awesome and positive. You hang out with me on a daily basis. I appreciate that after 11 years, people even care about what I have to say, whether it's gameplay or not. It's pretty awesome. And thank you for that, for hanging out with me every day and having a good time with games. I will say this up front. All right? Even though your contributions during streams are greatly appreciated, and I am about to outline many ways that you can contribute and help me out, it is not mandatory, okay? It's not. It's not expected that when you come by any gameplay stream at all that you're going to contribute. It's going above and beyond what I would consider, being an awesome person, an awesome viewer to contribute. I'm not trying to hold it over anyone's head, nor am I angry at anyone who just comes by and hangs out with me and doesn't contribute. It's all about having people to interact with and have a good time. That's always what it's been about. I made gameplay videos for YouTube for 2.5 years before I even monetized anything. You couldn't monetize gameplay videos back then. I did it because I loved it, not because I was looking for a paycheck, okay? So, thank you guys very much. And let us now get into some ways that you could contribute. First, there's my Patreon at patreon.com/darksidephil. And thank you to anyone who is a current patron and who contributes to my Patreon. I appreciate that. When you pledge to my monthly Patreon campaign, you get personal perks as a way of saying thank you. All the information about said perks is posted up over there, so I'm not going to go into detail about it, but you can give it a look. And again, thanks to anyone who does pledge and anyone who may be considering it. Okay? Now, also, I have a Teespring store where I sell all kinds of fun stuff, primarily t-shirts, but there's a lot of other stuff over there too. Mugs and stickers and hoodies and sweatshirts and the like. Today, I'm actually wearing one of the shirts, which I will show you. So this is my King of Retro shirt design. One of many that are available over on my Teespring store. If you like myself, if you like my content, my streams, you want a way to maybe celebrate that, have a collectible for yourself, maybe a gift for yourself or a gift for a loved one during the holidays. Just an idea. Just to forewarn you guys, with only 2 weeks left until Christmas, you'll be cutting it pretty close. If you're going to try to order something off my Teespring for Christmas, you're going to have to do so relatively soon, okay? So just a forewarning, I strongly recommend that you do check out my Teespring and order something right away if you are planning on getting something, all right? All right, now, if you're here live on the stream, chances are that you probably would want to contribute in a way that is going to get you some interaction and get you some recognition, right? So if you're here live on the stream today and you either cheer with bits or you subscribe to my channel or you tip me, any of those three things, and I will give you a live shout out during the stream, okay, as a way of saying thank you. And also there are leaderboards that I update periodically, including at the top of your screen, there's a leaderboard that tracks top cheer and top tip. In addition to that, there's an integrated leaderboard into Twitch that tracks things such as the top cheerers of the week, as well as the people who have gifted subs for the week. So there's many opportunities to get recognized, and I will be going through all of those shortly to give recognition to those who have contributed. With all the things that I just mentioned, all the ways to contribute, right? You might say, well, what is the best one? What is the way that helps fill the most? Because he just mentioned so many different ones. I wonder, what would actually be the best way, a contribution method. Quite matter-of-factly, and being honest with all of you, the best way to contribute would be to tip me. The reason being, when you tip me, those are funds I get immediately. There's no processing time or downtime. I can use it right now to pay a bill. I could use it right now to buy a game. I could use it right now to pay my tax attorney and file my year-end taxes, or actually pay the year-end taxes. You see what I mean? Like, there's many things that I can put that money towards immediately. Now, I'm not saying that other contribution methods don't help and aren't appreciated. In fact, they greatly are. And thanks to anyone who contributes in any way, shape, or form. But all of the other contribution methods, including cheering, subbing, Patreon, Teespring, all have a processing time where I don't get stuff right away. It takes usually roughly about a month, if not longer, for me to see any positive benefit from those. So if you actually want to help me in the short term with the stuff coming up, tipping me is the way to go, okay? So, in regards to tipping, there's some stuff that you should know. First of all, how do you tip? Well, if you look below the stream, there's a tips jar button that is set up right below my streams that you could click on, or you could type exclamation point tip into the stream chat, and that will actually bring up the link to go to my PayPal tips page. If you are considering tipping, a few things to know. First of all, you do not need to have a registered PayPal account to do so. You can actually just use a debit or credit card to tip. A lot of people are in this misconception that, oh man, I need a PayPal account that's registered with linked with a bank account and all this annoying stuff. No, you can actually just, like anything else on the internet, you can use a debit or credit card to do a tip. However, what I have found from personal experience is that sadly, they don't make the process as easy as it sounds, because if you're on like a mobile device and you try to do it, sometimes the option to do so doesn't show up. Okay, and that's a shortcoming of PayPal. I don't know why their website doesn't work right everywhere, but it doesn't. If you go on a desktop computer, you should have options that say like MasterCard, Visa, Discover, American Express, etc., all that pop up there, but you might not have that if you try to do it on a mobile device. So, apologies in advance, but please consider tipping, and know that you don't need that account. You can use a desktop computer to do it, okay? Now, in addition to that, I strongly recommend that if you are considering contributing today, to myself or any streamer for that matter, you do what you can and do your due diligence to protect your identity. What I mean by that is, sadly, there are a group of people on the internet who are absolutely miserable fucks. They're messed up in the head. They will do whatever they can to make your life miserable because it gives them power. Their lives are awful and miserable and lacking of any kind of positivity in real life. And so they get their jollies off simply by hurting others. It's just the truth. That's it. I love hurting people because it makes me feel like I have power. So what they'll do is they'll prey upon people who contribute to streamers. They'll try to find people who are like big contributors, and then they'll try to find their personal information, and they'll try to dox you. They'll try to post your stuff online, harass you on social media, etc. And that's the last thing I want to see happen to one of my viewers or supporters. So I strongly recommend, if you're going to contribute today, try to do it with as little links to your real life information as possible. I always recommend that if someone's going to tip me, they either do it anonymously, which you could do. You could tip anonymously. Or you can actually just make up a name out of nowhere. Instead of using your real name, do it with something that no one will be able to tie it to the real you. That way no one's going to be going to your social media accounts and harassing you for supporting a streamer or anything like that. I'm just looking out for you guys, okay? So please do your best to conceal your personal information on the internet. It's just a good rule of thumb, all right? All right, so that's it for the gratuitous plugs. We now move on to the rules, all right? Being a live streamer here on Twitch TV, I have rules that I need to follow and rules that I abide by. The first set of rules is the Twitch.tv guidelines. Everything that's laid out in here in the bylaws of Twitch, I follow. Make sure that I'm following all the rules. I can't just say and do whatever I want on my streams. That's perfectly fine. I hope you guys understand. But in addition to that, I have my own personal code of conduct that I kind of follow. 2 general rules that I follow to make my streams better. The mentality that I have is as follows. When you guys come by my live gameplay streams, I want you to feel like you can escape the stresses, the drama, and the annoyance of your real everyday lives. You come here to relax. You come here to have some fun, to see me play some fun games, to interact with me, to see what's going on in my world today, right? And to get my honest reactions to whatever games I'm playing. Maybe to have some interaction with me or with other people in the stream chat. You just have a good time, right? What that means is you already have your own problems. You don't need to come by my streams and now see a bunch of arguments and drama and nonsense going on, right? That's what we try to avoid. So, there's 2 rules that I follow to try to keep that out of here. The first is I try to keep controversial topics that people tend to get argumentative about out of my stream. And those 2 topics in particular are politics and religion. Sadly, when people talk about these topics, it seems like they just can't agree to disagree. They get into heated arguments and really get nasty with each other. Truth of the matter is, you probably hear about politics and religion all the time in your real lives anyway. Last thing I want is, I'm playing a game. Let's see what's going on with Phil's stream chat. Look, an argument about Brexit and an argument about Trump's impeachment and all this. Who gives a shit, right? It's not what the stream's about. Whatever your stance is on these issues, I don't care. It has nothing to do with what I do here. So please, let's keep that crap out of here, all right? Now, if I am playing a game where topics about politics and religion are pertinent, that's very different, okay? Okay, there's actually a topic in the game about something going on in politics or religion. That's different. But if it's not pertinent to the game, let's keep those topics out of here. Let's keep stuff, fun and chill and friendly, all right? The other thing that is a big no-no on my streams is the fact that I know there are tons of people out there on the internet that do whatever they can on a daily basis to defame me in various ways, whether it's stealing my content, live broadcasting my content without consent, which is also stealing, making nasty, disgusting statements about myself and my family, in general, just doing whatever they can to insult me and basically, make me look bad on their own behalf. And why do they do it? Well, they've done it because they found out that YouTube is a place where this kind of behavior not only is celebrated and promoted by the website itself, it's profitable. They've found out that actually breaking the law by not only stealing content illegally, but defaming people, which is also illegal, is actually profitable. They make money doing this, okay? That's the reason they do it. They do it to get their own attention and fame and popularity. If it weren't for me, these people would not have any kind of a significant presence whatsoever on the internet. They'd be nobodies. They're riding my coattails. They found the gravy train. All right? Sadly, there's nothing I can do about it. YouTube has 0 protections in place for anyone like me. Unless I file a lawsuit against these people, there's no way that I could ever stop them. Right? So I'm sorry, I'm not rich. I'm just a small-time content creator. I have, fun doing what I do every single day. And sadly, it's life. I've learned to live with it because there's nothing I can do about it. Now, that being said, sadly, sometimes people will come in here and start talking about it and derail the whole stream, all right? Last thing we need to know is hear about who's the new person restreaming me, who's the person who just insulted myself or my fucking wife, or, who cares about that stuff? It's a gameplay stream, right? We're supposed to be here having fun, chilling. We don't need to hear about that crap. So understand, even if you're well-intentioned and you're coming in here because you feel like you're notifying me about something I need to know about, it's not appreciated and it's not needed. Because all you're doing when you bring those people up, you're giving them attention. And guess what they're looking for? Attention. The more attention they get, the more money they make. So the truth of the matter is, the less we talk about it, the better. I talk about it this one brief segment every stream to let everyone know it's against the rules, and then we don't mention it ever again during the streams. Fair enough? And I mean this, don't bring up any of these people specifically. You're going to find yourself banned. Because we're just not going to put up with that crap. Okay? Good stuff? All right. All right, everyone. So now, we move on to the third and the final segment of my pre-stream. This is the one where you guys get recognition for your contributions. I call it the shout-out segment. And this is where we actually start updating the leaderboards. Okay? So, let's go ahead and let's get started. with shout-outs. So, first of all, some shout-outs to people who contributed during my day off. Golden Colts, with a significant amount of cheering while I was not here. Thank you very much, Golden Colts, for all those cheers over the course of the day when I was off yesterday. Much appreciated. Right before the stream started today, Uzi Gohard cheered. Thank you very much, Uzi Gohard, for the 50-bit cheer. I appreciate that. But that was right before the stream started today. Jack Spartacus actually gave the first contribution while the stream was running. It was a $3 tip. He says, I never saw this game back on PS1. I'm shocked to see that I really like it in the streams of it. He must be referring to, of course, MediEvil, which we're about to play. Yeah, like I remember back in the day on the PS1, the only reason I knew about MediEvil is because a demo of it was included with one of those big magazines. Like I want to say it was probably like PlayStation Magazine or something like that. Or I'm trying to think what games regularly had demos back in the day. GamePro was one of them. PlayStation Magazine was one of them. So more than likely it was one of those game magazines came with a demo disc. And as MediEvil was going to come out, the game demo was included with the magazine, and I played it. I liked it, and I was like, oh man, and I went out and I bought the game. And then of course it was so popular, I ended up getting a sequel. So that's good stuff. It's surprising to me it took them this long to remake it, quite frankly, because the game is, I agree, the game is quite good. Even though, let's face it, we're playing it now, it's a remake. It has a lot of, it has a lot of things about it that are outdated. The fact that there's no checkpoints, right, is a big one. You have to replay the whole stage if you die. Okay, that could be kind of annoying. But overall, I think so far the game's been great. The graphics have been pretty good. The gameplay elements kind of hold up. Although some of the stuff is very simplistic, it's still pretty fun. So I'm enjoying the playthrough so far. I hope you guys are enjoying it too. And you're looking forward to more today. Yeah, a lot of people probably don't know about MediEvil. So it's kind of cool that this game got a remaster and was released this year. And now I get to finally play it and we get to experience it together. Pretty neat, right? So thank you very much, Jack, for the $3 tip. Clean Up Man 85 subscribe to the channel for 6 months. Thank you very much to Clean Up Man 85. I appreciate that very much. And for, of course, the ongoing support, being a 6-month sub. Crazy Spanks also resubbed for 7 months. So thank you very much, Crazy Spanks, for 7 months of support. Thank you, guys. Snorlax to me $1 and says the following. Hey, Phil, I'm currently at 397 of 400 Pokemon. Caught at this point. A heads up, I'm 80 hours of playtime. Just so you have an idea of how long this could take you. Good luck catching them all. Well, actually, my playthrough of Pokemon Sword at this point is about 40 hours long. I looked into it, and it looks like I'm probably just under 40 hours. And I haven't beaten the game. I still got the final gym, and then whatever the final segment of the story is going to be. I'm sure there's a big champions match against Leon, and all that. And I've also heard that the game has some post-game content. Not a ton, but I've heard that it does have some post-game content to look into. So, if I just followed the story of the game, I would assume I would probably beat it within 2 to 3 sessions. So you're probably talking another 8 to 12 hours of gameplay. I'd probably beat the story, okay? However, that being said, I am not just going to do that. Like I said, I am going to actually, now that I'm in the wild, one of the things I want to do the next stream is just go through the wild and try to catch as many of the Pokemon that I previously couldn't catch. Look for evolutions and the like, and just have a good time with it, and just kind of casually play it rather than worry about rushing through it. I mean, no rush. The streams have been great. You guys seem to have enjoyed the streams a ton. I see no reason to rush through the game. Let's just keep having fun and enjoying this ongoing segment of gameplay, right? So, that's good stuff. So good. Thank you for letting me know, Snorlax, that it could be as long as 80 hours long. I appreciate that, and thank you for the $1 tip. Orion Rogue is resale for 20 months. That's pretty awesome. All right. That's pretty awesome. Thank you for the support. And good to see you. Okay. Two Bar King did a 100-bit cheer. Thank you very much, Two Bar King, for the 100-bit cheer. That's actually the first cheer that actually happened during today's live stream. Significantly, it makes it also the biggest. So let's go ahead and let's get Two Bar King up here on the leaderboard for his cheer. Thank you. No. Shit. My keyboard is lagging today. Oh, man. Why is it giving me problems now? Yikes. All right. Dr. Disrespect to the Pact. What a name. Timmy $1 says, is Tim Schafer still a douchebag? He hasn't made a game lately, but he has a new series on Amazon called Costume Quest. Well, I'm not going to watch it. As you guys know, Tim Schafer, I feel completely burned by this guy because this is a guy who I backed his game called Broken Age. And you guys probably have no recollection of it because it wasn't a very significant game. It wasn't a very good game. And it was pretty much a game that kind of went right under the radar for most people. It actually released exclusively as a PC game back in the day. And then I think eventually it did get ported to consoles. But the reason that Tim Schafer really pissed me off is because he couldn't get anyone to fund his stuff. So what does he do? Goes to online crowdfunding. He promises the world, and he fails to deliver. He says he's going to have this 2-part epic game, much in the same vein as his previous games, The Secret of Monkey Island and stuff like that. And he basically, excuse me, or I was going to say more like Grim Fandango, actually, because that was another, wasn't that a Tim Schafer game, Grim Fandango? Basically, the games where you point and click adventure, where you're trying to solve puzzles and do like narrative choices and stuff. That's really the kind of game that he excels at. Okay, now he made other games too. He made Psychonauts and other stuff too. So this game Broken Age comes out. The first half of the game comes out delayed, by the way, but it does come out, and it's pretty good. You got good voice acting. You've got Jack Black as one of the characters. You got a good soundtrack, some original locations. In general, the game seems pretty solid. Then, Tim Schafer promises the second half will come out by a certain date, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't come out, keeps getting delayed. The game finally comes out among so many protests among his fans, like, what is going on? And the second half of the game is absolutely terrible. All right? It's like completely dialed in. You could tell he put almost no time or effort into it. The same exact locations are reused a second time. The same puzzles, only they remixed some of them to be slightly different. Some of the puzzles were completely just dumb, like not even well thought out. They're just like really annoying and stupid. You can tell no effort was put into finishing the game at all. I guess what he did is he's such a bad project manager that he blew through all the crowdfunding money quickly to make the first half, and then he basically had to rush through to try to make the second half on a shoestring budget, and it was a ripoff for everyone. Now, I'd called him out on this and said, this is bullshit. Why does it seem like Tim Schafer gets a pass just because he's supposedly a legendary game developer? Doesn't mean that we should all kiss his butt. We should recognize that he really screwed up here. Well, for whatever reason, it was brushed under the rug like it never happened. And then, years later, it's announced, oh, guess what? Now Microsoft has bought him, and he's now part of the Microsoft Game Studios and all that. And I'm like, I don't care. Like, I seriously don't want to play his games anymore. Like, that was such a turnoff to me that he would take people's money like he did and basically give you a half-finished game and be like, oh, it's done because I want to do another project now. I was like, well, fuck you. No, you took everybody's money. You got to finish the project you promised to work on, which he never really did. So, I don't really like the guy. Plus, by the way, the guy is an infamous douchebag. He basically argues. He was one of the people who completely refused to acknowledge there was any actual issues going on with Gamergate during that whole controversial thing that happened. He was like, oh, no, it's just a bunch of whiny kids on the internet and entitled nerds. Instead of actually, like, recognizing there were significant problems with gaming media that needed to be called out, he instead wanted to pretend like nothing was happening. And it was ridiculous, the things that he says and does, and they're so disrespectful on the internet. And people just give him a pass because, oh, I'm a legendary game developer. It's like, it's great that you've been around the block, you made a bunch of games or whatever. It doesn't give you a free pass to be a complete douchebag, And he is, So it's like on top of the fact that the guy is a bad project manager and stole everyone's money with Broken Age, he's also a douchebag in real life. So, I don't really like the guy for various reasons that I've just described, okay? So, so there you go. I hope that makes sense. And I don't give a shit about Tim Schafer. I don't care about his Amazon Prime projects. I never will give a crap about the guy ever again. So there you go. Mr. Papavera cheered. What's up, Mr. Papavera? Good to see you. He says, I remember those days when we get a new demo disc every month. Like from some PlayStation magazine. It had some cool stuff on there and rare stuff. I bet you could bet a whole set of them on eBay. I wonder if old demo discs would work with PS4. No, they're not going to work, dude. No way. He says, that might be kind of fun to play old demo discs for PS and Xbox, although I highly doubt Xbox X would play old demo discs. Dude, nothing. No old discs work on modern consoles. If you remember, PlayStation 2 was not backwards compatible with PlayStation 1. But what they started doing is they started selling the PS1, which was the mini version of the PlayStation 1, for a discounted rate. And basically they pushed it like you should get the PS2, but if you want to play all your favorite PS1 classics, you got to buy the mini PS1. And I think they sold it for like $80 or something like that, like really cheap for a console. I believe the original model, like certain models of the PS2 were backwards compatible, but not others. It was really confusing. I know that the ones that I had weren't. I had later models of PS2 that I guess were not backwards compatible because I knew it wouldn't work. So I kept my original PS1 for quite some time. But then PS3, the original PS3 was backwards compatible with PS2, but then they removed that functionality. PS4 is not backwards compatible with PS3 at all. So there's no way PS1 discs are going to work on PS4. But you're right, that was a different time. It really was. What you would do is you would subscribe to a gaming magazine. Because remember, the internet wasn't what it is today. Good luck downloading a game demo on the internet. It would take 4 weeks. So what you would do, you would subscribe to a gaming magazine like PlayStation Network, or not PlayStation Network, PlayStation Magazine and stuff like that. And once a month you get the issue and we have a game disc in it, you pop it in, you play like 5 or 6 different game demos. And sometimes you play something good that you would end up going and buying yourself. The digital age didn't really start until the era of PS3 and Xbox 360. And even then, probably it wasn't until several years into the life cycle of those consoles where actively things like game demos and stuff were available digitally for free so you could test out these games. So good stuff, right? It was a different era. And like I said, MediEvil was one of the games that I ended up playing after actually playing a game demo on a disc, so. Okay, continuing on, M5MNSX did a 101-bit cheer. That actually makes M5MNSX the top cheer of the day. And he says, how was your day off? Doing some chores to prepare for the holidays. Well, I already talked about this. It was an interesting mix of, fun stuff with errands and chores and the like. It was very rainy, but that's to be expected this time of year in Washington State. It's very cloudy and rainy all the time, so no surprise there. But it was a good day. Overall, it was a good day off. Thank you for asking. And thank you for the cheer, which I'm trying to update, but the keyboard's not agreeing with me. There we go. Okay, Dr. Disrespect the Pack to me another $1. It says, you think the Sonic movie has potential to be the best video game movie ever made? I think Jim Carrey is the selling point. Potential versus execution, 2 completely different things. Potentially, it has an iconic gaming character that many people grew up with in the 1990s, who they probably would want to go out and nostalgically see a movie about. It's got potential to be a tie-in with stuff that kids want to see. A cool cartoony character running around the screen. So potentially, it's good. Plus, keep in mind, they did not foolishly go forward with the insanely shitty-looking Sonic design. They went back and redesigned Sonic, which is good. And it looks more like the games now, and people seem like they're going to actually go out and actively check out this movie now. So, does it have potential to be the best comic book movie? Oh, God. To be the best video game movie ever? Of course it does. Will it be? I mean, who knows? I guess it really depends on the writing, and is the movie itself, smart, or is it just really cheesy? Who knows? Jim Carrey is obviously an added bonus to the movie. I don't know necessarily the just having Jim Carrey in it makes it good. It's hard to say. The way I say it is this: Jim Carrey typically does good stuff, but he's also done stuff that's not so good, and that's not necessarily his fault. I would say look at movies like Liar Liar or Me, Myself, and Irene, where there are moments that are really good and moments that are really bad. Like Liar Liar I actually really like, but then as I got older and I started watching, I thought it was not as good. Me, Myself, and Irene, I think that movie is terrible. So, you know, there's always a divided opinion on this stuff. And just because Jim Carrey's in it doesn't guarantee that he's going to be great. It depends on what the movie called for and what the director told him to do. So I guess we'll see. Okay. Mr. Papavera cheered and he says, "Do you have a PS Mini? Did Xbox do a Mini?" No, I didn't get the PlayStation Mini. Because, you know, when it came out, first of all, the titles that were on it weren't, like, amazing. They were good, but they weren't, like, blow me away amazing. And a lot of them I'd already played recently anyway. On PlayStation 3, I had downloaded and played those games anyway. Then, of course, all the horror stories came out that the console was a piece of shit. Because it actually were not the good versions of the games, as they say. But I guess in some certain cases, they were like the PAL versions. Or basically, they weren't good versions of the games that you would want to play. The console flopped hideously and ended up, at one point, I believe they were selling PS Mini on Amazon for like $20 or something like that. Like crazy cheap because they couldn't get rid of them. Like people basically didn't buy it and it ended up sitting on shelves and overstocked everywhere. Like everywhere had this thing overstocked because no one bought it. I guess a lot of these stores had planned on it being a big hit like the SNES Mini had been, and it was not at all. It was a ginormous flop. So, you know, no, I never got a PS Mini. I have no plans on getting a PS Mini. I don't see the point. So, okay. Excuse me. So, thank you everyone so far for your contributions. What I'd now like to do is give shout outs to those who have contributed via being the top cheerers of the week, and also people who have gifted subs this week. Okay? All right. Okay, so thank you very much to the top cheerers of the week so far. Let's open this leaderboard up. In 10th place this week, Gex the Lizard. 9th place goes to M5NSX. 8th place, Bashy101. 7th place is Shrimply Pimply. 6th place, Golden Colts. 5th place, Accio Artorias. 4th place goes to Pop Rivera. 3rd place, Big D's. 2nd place, Two Bar King. And in 1st place so far, the week is young, by the way, but in so far, it's Delancius, who did that 3200-bit cheer actually during the Minecraft stream, and we'll be able to think about what he wants us to do for a future Minecraft project, okay? Good stuff. Also, thank you to the following people who gifted subs this week. Rumpelstiltskins gifted a single sub, and DTrain12 gifted a subscription. So thank you guys for your support. That is much appreciated, okay? All right. So, that is it for today's pre-stream. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. What we're going to do now is take a very brief break so I can go use the restroom. And we're going to come back with fun continuation. Hold on a second. Uzi Gohard just cheered and said, "Wait a minute. I'm not on the leaderboard. Not even close. I just wanted to derail the stream." Well, there you go. Thank you, Uzi Gohard, for the 50-bit cheer. I appreciate that. Okay. So now, we'll take a very brief break for me to go use the restroom, and then we're going to jump back into MediEvil's remaster, or remake, whatever you want to call it. 4 hours of fun here. Probably going to be some frustration, but at the same time, you know, I am enjoying the game a lot, so I hope you guys are enjoying the playthrough. And it should be a good time, all right? So thank you, and I shall be back with more MediEvil in just a moment. Thanks, and see you in a bit.